wonders who brought you RuPaul's Drag Race and $1 Million Listing. This is World of Wonders Wow Report. Things that make us go wow.
Welcome, everybody.
Yes.
It's that time of year.
Yes.
I'm Fenner Bailey, co-founder of World of Wonder, joined by Tom Campbell, our Chief Creative Officer.
Hello.
For those of you listening at home, he's dripping in lights. Christmas.
I love it. It's a Chanel-esque cascade of Christmas cheer.
Amazon next year if you didn't get them now, but they're just old-fashioned looking Christmas lights, LED necklaces, which I bought 100 for the office.
And you've just draped them around your neck, and you look very festive, darling. You're the biggest ho-ho-ho of all.
And so do you, James, who needs no introduction. James St. James, also covered, dripping with Christmas lights. So, okay, we're going to count down the top 10 things that make us go, wow. Right?
But in a holiday way.
In a holiday way.
Yes.
So, top 10 things that make us go, ho, ho, ho.
Yes.
Without further ado, number 10, Tom.
Number 10.
I have had some of the brightest, happiest moments this year.
Really?
Attending
here with us.
Absolutely. And attending other live performances. Music especially. I've gone out of my way to buy theater tickets to comedians.
You have,
and it just fills me with joy.
You've joined the world again, is what it is.
Have.
Yes.
But just to be in a theater this past year, especially with like-minded theater people and talent and liberal ideas flowing around. On earlier last week, I got to see Stevie Wonder perform at the Staples Music Center.
That's got to be a special concert.
And somehow I got a preview that he was going to be performing, so I got front row tickets.
What?
Yeah, that's not like you.
I was no, it's not like me. And I got them specifically. I went back and forth thinking, well, Stevie won't see me,
right?
But I'll see him. But and it's his 10th annual. It turns out it's his 10th annual like Toys for Tots event. So you bring a toy. Staples Center, it's fabulous. And then it was such a full night because he sang two of his albums. He sang Talking Book, cover to cover, and then Inner Visions. And so this is the peak of his creativity.
Do you give us some
70s.
of the singles that I know?
My Cherie Amour,
My Cherie,
Superstition,
after all.
Okay. You are the sun. I said that already, but Living for the City.
Living
Oh,
for
love
the city.
that.
That's a good
All
one.
is Fair in Love and War. I mean, Stevie fucking Wonder.
A mega concert.
Classic.
It went late, right?
It went late because it's two concerts. He sang two albums, cover to cover, and he also comes out and he introduces guest after guest who are not billed, that just show up. And the first guest, and I'm going to cry, I don't know why, is Tony Bennett, who's 94 years old.
And still just trucking around.
And he comes out, and I'm in the front row, so you're so close. You see, you get all the, and as soon as they announced him, he kind of runs a little bit, you know?
He really is the Alec Baldwin impression of him. It really is. Yeah, he nails it.
And together they sang a song that both he and Stevie had a hit with, which is For Once in My Life.
For once in my life, I've got someone who needs me.
But he let Tony sing, and Stevie Wonder pulls out his harmonica. It's an epic moment. And you're thinking, Tony's 94, he's human. Will the voice be there tonight? And he got to the point, well, someone who needs me. And it's crooned, and the place melted. It was so exciting. And then just as a bonus, Tony Bennett sang, I Left My Heart in San Francisco.
Oh, because why not?
And then he left. And that was it. That was just the beginning. And then he introduced Andra Day. And Common,
her hair.
Who came out, and she had like what Edie Gourmet was doing in the mid 60s,
yes,
where it's like the fall, you know. So she had a headband, and then like drag queen falls. Someone was saying, was it you, Blake? Someone was saying that she's the same hair person as like one of our drag queens.
Oh, I'm sure.
Like she looked amazing. And Common was there, who's so sexy. And they have a song called "If You Don't Stand for Something," which comes from
Fall for Nothing.
Yes, which was from that movie Marshall that I saw.
Yes.
So that was amazing. And then he brought out Dave Matthews.
Oh, okay.
Who I have no.
It's like a star-studded spectacular.
I have no visceral reaction to Dave Matthews. He also brought him out to sing Superstition, but Dave Matthews was like he was like Joe Crocker. He was like having conniption fits because it was so soulful and so amazing. And he sang, and it was so, people are so overjoyed to be with Stevie Wonder to begin with. And then the funniest moment was when Pharrell came out.
Oh, what was he wearing?
He was wearing something super cool that I couldn't pull off. And they sang Happy, which I know is the oldest, most cliche song, but when Stevie Wonder
it's such a classic song.
and Pharrell
It's
sang
like,
it goes,
just
Happy.
the worst.
But when you have the real
I
people
suppose,
there.
yeah, okay. No, I agree.
And then Stevie wouldn't let Pharrell leave, and Pharrell was like, goofing behind. Like, you have to be very careful because you can't make fun of Stevie for not seeing you. But he's like, I'm gonna leave to the audience, and Stevie kept him there. There's also I think his wife, they're scouting people online. So he had this one gentleman whose name I can't remember, but Google it, from Australia, who sang a Christmas carol. It was beautiful. And they had this other woman, I didn't bring my notes, who sang "Oh Holy Night" in the way. We will post this on the WoW Report, but she delivered. Again, it was someone who Stevie had discovered. She came out in a beautiful dress, and she was kind of touching her torso, as she hit the high notes, and she nailed it. But and Stevie just, without being political or divisive, Stevie somehow makes.
It's bringing out the joy, right? And 'tis the season, right?
And how important it is to educate and to look for love and to I know it's all cliche, but I need to hear it.
That's what we need.
But wait a minute, but did you also
go someplace else?
Didn't you also see other people?
Isn't this a top 10 countdown show?
He's not doing them all at once.
You're doing them all.
I'm doing them all.
Oh, each I thought it was all in one segment.
This is just my Stevie Wonder toy box.
Which is amazing.
Cut all of that. Just edit it right out.
Stop with the editing. It's all real, James. House of Toys benefits children, people with disabilities, and families in need. So it's a great cause. And that was Stevie Wonder kicking off the Christmas season.
Yes.
James, I'm sure you're going to elevate the tone with your number 9. What have you got for us?
I don't know how to segue.
Number 9.
Give your whole holiday is my topic.
Give your
By whole, you mean
your butthole. I'm
a holiday. So
give your whole. It's a holiday, is what it is.
Whole.
Because nothing says Christmas quite like edible anuses.
Tell me more.
There's a gentleman named Magnus Irving who makes mold of your anus or your lover's anus, and he will
makes a mold, not mold.
Makes a mold. Makes a mold. Yeah,
so you don't want a moldy anus.
No. It's not a moldy anus, but if your anus is moldy, you'll commemorate it.
Okay.
And you have to sit. He sort of straps you into like a gurney, like with.
Well, you're on board right away.
Right. It's sort of an awkward position. You have to be
sort of stirrups kind of a
It's sort
thing.
of a stirrups, yes.
Oh, so your butt's in the air.
Yeah, and then
Like
he
you don't
sort
care.
And he pours the mold in, and then he makes it into 3 flavors of chocolate: white chocolate, dark chocolate, and milk chocolate.
I didn't see this going edible.
It is.
Okay.
It's
I
edible.
suppose you could mix it with a little pot too and have edibles.
Yeah. Oh. Like I don't even know where that's going. But if you don't feel like having an edible anus, he can make a bronze, silver, or gold butthole.
That's where I would go.
And so it's just something that you can, it's a nice little gift to give to people. It's a nice way to commemorate your.
Is that what you're giving me?
Yeah, a little chocolate pucker.
I know you guys really well. I don't know. I've not seen your butthole.
No, you have. You just don't realize it was me.
But I want to say to the younger viewers out there, get your butthole commemorized younger.
Yes,
You know
it's true.
what I'm saying?
You won't regret it.
Right.
It's something you will always look
but it's
back on
something
and
you wanna
say,
capture.
this is when my butthole was nice and firm and tight and before it was like a stretched out old basketball hoop that like happens in your 50s. But I'm also thinking that also it's just a nice time to pay attention to your butthole. Maybe Botox it. I know you did a segment on Botoxing your butthole.
I thought you were outing him for a minute.
Right, no, it was. I know. Right. There's bleaching. You can bleach your butthole.
You can bleach your butthole.
I've not done that.
Oh, you can Botox it too, which sort of takes away some of the
wrinkles. Isn't that the whole point?
No. You want it to be like more of like a donut as opposed to a tortellini.
I see.
Can I ask a personal question?
Sure.
When's the last time you took a good long look at your butt?
Well, I try once a month to get a mirror and squat, and
Is that checking for mold? Or?
yeah, checking for mold, yes, and just to make sure that no, I really don't. I haven't seen my butt in a long time.
I haven't seen it in a very long time. I mean, I do know I have a vivid impression of it in my mind. So, and I know I wouldn't want to pop it in my mouth as a chocolate, or I don't think.
Blake, stop laughing. When's the last time? And be honest, you had a very good look at your butthole.
Probably 2 weeks ago.
Oh, really?
Well, I don't know, a month.
I did. No, I mean,
Hold on. And how do you inspect? Is it with a camera?
Yeah,
Is it
you
with
just
a
take a
mirror?
phone.
Oh,
just-
yeah,
Are you
a
all
camera,
fours, or what's going on?
Yeah,
With
a camera.
yeah.
Is that because it's something that then might
You
be
might be
sent
sharing
digitally?
it. Yes.
I don't know.
Sharing is caring. So, hey, but I have a question for you. So that you get these chocolates, how many in a box?
It's 3.
Can you get liquid sensors?
If you're implying, does this butthole come with a cherry?
Like cranberry.
The answer is not mine.
But how much do they cost? You only get 3 in a box.
Yeah, you get
how
3
much?
in a
How
box,
much are
and
they?
I think they're what was it? I'm sorry. You get 3 in a box, and I believe they were it's $500 for the whole process.
And if you
Gee, that's expensive. chocolates.
$500 for chocolates or for
no,
bronze?
for the whole for
I
the
guess
process of getting the mold.
Once you have the
taken
mold, the sky's the limit. You just go on and on, right?
I might want other body parts from people.
Well, but I'm thinking like maybe you could get like Colton Haynes' butthole, or you could get
Celebrity
Zac
buttholes, right?
Zac Efron's butthole. I mean, I think there's a whole like market.
And then you could make a fleshlight out of it.
There you go.
Well, for more information, you can head over to the Wow Report at worldofwonder.net/Radio Andy.
Oh, the holidays.
Here we are.
Well, it is the holidays.
Yes.
And so what does that mean? That means,
Crockers from Fenton.
well, that's coming up. That's a reason to stay tuned.
Oh, okay.
Number 8.
My number 8, and of course, Christmas means it's Star Wars. A very Star Wars Christmas.
Christmas and Star Wars are now synonymous.
You did tell us last night that you went and
to
I'm
the
very
premiere.
jealous.
I went to the. I didn't go to the premiere, the fancy premiere with the
Right.
giant Star Wars things on
Yeah,
Hollywood
right, like
Boulevard.
closed Hollywood
I went to the Grove, and it was absolutely fantastic.
I heard
and
that the
exciting.
director Nicholas, what is his name?
The director's name is Ryan Johnson.
Ryan Johnson. That he came out and spoke to the audience beforehand.
Yes, he did. And you know what he said? He said, I want to dedicate tonight to Carrie, who is up there right now, flipping me the bird, saying, damn it, Ryan, don't you dare make this night a solemn tribute. Because, of course, a year ago, almost to the day, Carrie Fisher passed away. And
I
then
heard that she's absolutely fantastic in the movie. It's a great send-off for
Well,
her.
it's impossible to watch the movie without this resonance of
Right.
this dearly departed person who was so fucking funny and wonderful.
How
and
did they know to film her scenes before?
Well, I can
Conspiracy?
I can reveal that she was earlier last year, many months before she passed away. She was in London filming not 1 but 2 Star Wars.
She did them both at the same time, yeah.
episodes. So filming was complete. So and I don't
one more to see with her.
and wasn't she coming back from London when she had
yes.
the...
She was living there, I think.
Yeah, she was flying back from London for the holidays when she was taken ill on the plane.
But to go on with the movie,
Yeah.
John Boyega and
John Boyega isn't in it that much. I don't want to give that too much away.
Laura Dern is she? I heard she comes
Laura
on and she's
Dern
hysterical.
Has
she's
purple
fabulous.
hair. Get ready for the purple hair. And it actually looks quite good.
Good.
And she. I mean, look, it's J.J. Abraham who really is the master of twisting and then retwisting and reversing. I mean, he is the master of these sort of plot twists and turns that you can't see coming, and they're very clever. So it is very clever. I have to say, I've sort of left the Star Wars world behind. I haven't been faithful enough to follow it, so I have no idea what is going on or who is who. Really,
All you need to know is stormtroopers and good guys and
who's
bad
good,
guys.
who's bad, and you've got the lovely
Chewbacca.
Kylo Ren. I thought that you probably carry a torch for.
I do. I love him, but
Adam
I
Driver.
love who's the other guy? John Boyega and
The other one.
The other guy. Well, the code breaker in this is Justin Theroux, who's really rather quite yummy. And there's a fabulous new villain.
Oscar. Oscar. He's the biggest star in the world.
Okay, if you say so.
Oscar,
really
could someone
bad.
look him up, please? He's
Blake is Googling as we
Blake
speak.
is Googling with like the biggest side eye I've ever seen. Like, whoa.
what eye he has.
And Billy.
Why?
Oscar Isaac.
Oscar Isaac, who is so handsome.
What part does he play?
He plays the fighter, the one who has a great arc about how he has to be more responsible.
Oh, yes, right, okay. I mean, I don't want to give too much away. I didn't really follow the story. There is a nice twist in that Carrie Fisher's daughter, Billie Lourd, is in it as Lieutenant Connex, and I think is rumored to be play a much more prominent part in the next
one.
movie.
I heard that it's funny, that there's like some legitimately laugh out loud funny lines.
There is some funny. To me, the gold standard of all these movies now is Thor Ragnarok. It's not as funny as Thor Ragnarok. There are some really funny things. And of course, this isn't really a giveaway because you see it at the end of in the trailer. They show it. Luke Skywalker.
Yeah, Mark Hamill.
Is a powerful presence throughout the film.
And that's really nice for him because his film career didn't go as planned, and it's nice for him to. No, I mean it's true. It's true. He was the biggest star in the late '70s, and then it sort of went nowhere. And he does a lot of voiceover work. He does the Joker and the Batman,
right.
And he does a lot of cartoons. But I think it's nice to sort of end your career on such a high note.
Why was he in a? Did you guys see those photos of him in a wheelchair? Like what?
I did not see photos of him.
I was wondering if something's wrong with him.
I certainly hope not.
He had a calf implants.
Maybe.
Let's hope it's just something cosmetic.
All I will say is they did some great stuff with, like Star Wars often has the Ewoks. I mean, I guess some people don't like the Ewoks, but cute, furry, strange creatures. And this film delivers on some more cute, strange creatures who are very cute.
As long as there's no Jar Jar Binks, I'm on board.
Anything that they can
surpass
franchise and sell at Toys R Us, they'll be good.
Were there some fabulous outfits?
Fabulous outfits, great fascist architecture for the villains, who are always sitting in a throne.
It's true because I remember when we did Rogue One, I was saying that the rebels are a diverse group of people, and the stormtroopers are all old
just
white
trying
men.
to be Nazis.
Yeah, white
Nazis
men,
in
very
space.
very Trumpian.
Yes, absolutely. Giant, giant thrones, impossible scale, red everywhere.
Yes, it's Nazis, Trump allegory
Nazis in
all the
space.
way. Yes.
How can you go wrong? I mean, and in fact, the preview's 45 million. So that's good. And they think it might have a global opening of $250 million, which is good because it allows Disney now to buy Fox. Like five or six times over. I know, but they only paid $56 billion, and if you're grossing $250 million, no, 226.
You've already lost me.
Yeah, I've lost myself.
Don't do math.
Okay, that's completely wrong. I just realized that 56 billion is what they've paid, right? Yeah, and the opening is $250 million.
Oh, so they're half of
it'll help a little bit.
Yes.
To go towards it.
So they get there.
All right. Oh, something else? This is very interesting too, is they did the film, released the film without any audience testing. I did not know that because studios these days, they always test.
Yeah.
But the
they always take notes and listen to people.
Yes, but the reason they didn't is because they're too afraid of security breaches and leaks.
So it's not that they were so confident in what they had?
Well, no, it wasn't. And in a way, it's amazing. It says a lot about audience research and testing, right? That's our chain puller.
Yes,
every time we do a show,
every time
pulling a chain, making noise in
outside our state-of-the-art Hollywood Boulevard adjacent studio, there's a man yanking a chain.
Do we have all-day trivia questions this episode?
Well, we have to take a break, so it is time for the question.
Oh, good.
Blake, what have you got?
Well, this question's actually about buttholes.
Oh, that's nice.
Well, that puts me in an holiday spirit.
What animal breathes through its butthole?
You're listening to Wow Report on Radio Andy. Sirius XM will be right back after the break.
You're listening to World of Wonders Wow Report.
And we are back on our special Christmas edition of Things That Make Us Go Wow! I'm here with Tom and James and Blake, and we've got festive hats on and Christmas lights. You took off your hat. Why? You need a headpiece.
I was.
You were burning up. The cameras were frying you.
I tell you, this thing is baking me alive.
These Klieg lights and everything. I was just getting sweaty and
your butthole was getting a little bit moist.
Speaking of buttholes.
Oh, well, that was the question before the break. What animal
breathes through its butthole?
Well, I would have to say it's some sort of amphibian. I would probably think it's some sort of
amphibian,
some sort of toad, or maybe some sort of something
A
like
snake or something.
It's actually.
Oh wait, I haven't guessed. I have chopped liver here. I think it's an invertebrate, and I think it's probably the sea cucumber.
Oh, I think you're right about that.
It is the sea cucumber.
How do you know?
I had no idea.
But there are actually some North American turtles that breathe through their butt.
Well,
too.
that's kind of no, actually.
I thought I don't know. I think they're reptiles.
Let's carry on with our countdown. We've reached number 7. Tom.
Number 7.
So I saw Stevie Wonder. We talked about that.
Yes.
Changed my life. Christmas happened. I thought like it had all played out. I'd had my highlight of the season. I was wrong. I was in New York. We were in New York. You were busy, unfortunately. Fantasia of American Idol fame, who we have done a TV series with, who we may be doing another one with.
Maybe.
Was performing when we were there, coincidentally, at the Apollo Theater in Harlem, and I was invited to attend. I've never been to the Apollo. I've never actually been to Harlem, and so I saw Fantasia in concert, and it was a religious experience.
Can I just say that I've seen her? I saw her with you, I believe, at the Pride Festival a couple years ago, and we were backstage. And she is a force of nature when she's on stage. It is the second coming of Tina Turner. It's absolutely breathtaking.
Her voice is amazing. Her voice live is amazing. Her ability to go from she can sing a ballad, she can sing very traditionally, and she can belt and scream and yowl like no one else. Her singing's amazing. When she speaks to you, it's equally as moving. Her mother and her grandmother were preachers. She comes from this preacher, and she is
that makes sense.
a preacher.
That's the whole thing.
I took the A train from 14th Station to 125th Street because there's that "You must take the A train." It's like dooby Harlem. And I was like,
and it was a very cold night, wasn't it?
Very cold night. There was snow.
Wait, did you go too? Were you there?
I didn't go.
But he was in the city. But then the Apollo Theater, which is so... I've just dreamed about it and seen it on television and heard documentaries about it. And then she came out, and it was a Christmas... She has an album called Christmas After Midnight, which you must buy or listen to. And, you're expecting when she comes on the stage, it's usually like an animal and, in stocking. And she just walked across, looked beautiful, and sang, "What are you doing New Year's Eve?" Kind of a jazzy version, nothing much. And she sort of explained that, she used to take her shoes right off when she got on stage. She goes, "But I'm a grown woman now." And then she talked about how she was gonna basically be more like Billie Holiday and Dinah Washington. And then she launches into what she told me afterwards is the beginning, the seeds of like a new Broadway show where she tells this story about her family in the past. And this one was holiday themed, and her grandmother and her grandfather. But she had the audience in the palm of her hand, and she's talking about how her grandfather would like the brown booze, and he would get the browns.
What is
and
that? What is
it was
that?
like whiskey. And then he would start
yeah.
playing records like this, and then she would sing when he got drunk. And then after a couple more, he'd play records like this, and then she'd sing. And then by the end, of course, she's getting you all heated up, and then she's like, "These shoes have to come off." And then she wails and she sings. Then she brings out a choir, a local Harlem choir that's sitting there, and she sings the Leonard Cohen Hallelujah. Like you've never heard it performed
Well, how
before.
could you? Right.
And
You must
then
have been weeping.
Yes, and then she goes into more, and she starts to speak, and the choir, who don't know, they're just locals, so they don't know Fantasia personally, she just starts to speak and sing, and they are testifying, and they are raising their hand. And if you ever needed proof that Jesus is the way and the light. Seriously, like you realize how powerful faith is, and how sometimes I want to diminish Christianity or something. It's like, whatever people's route to God, whatever God is, whatever way that they connect with the Spirit is totally legitimate. And watching and being in that room, we were filled with the Spirit. It was amazing.
It's funny you say that because, not tying it back to Star Wars, but it has such an obvious thing to say. But the whole concept of the Force is indeed a religion, and is that idea of a higher power.
Yes.
And not necessarily a religion, but the idea of this
Spirit. And all we have are words.
Not to tie it back to buttholes.
Yes. No, but not and all we have are words, and all we have are stories. And whether it's Luke Skywalker or Jesus Christ, and I'm not diminishing anyone's place, it's like if you can use those stories and those words to tap you into this greater unknown. And by the end, she was telling us to be grateful, and we put one foot in the floor, and I'm like, we are there, all of us. And she goes, "I want you to turn to someone right now you don't know and hug them." So I was hugging the people next to me, I was hugging the people right to me, and then she sang "This Christmas," ba-ba-dum, ba-ba-ba-dum, ba. And everyone was in the aisles, and we were dancing, and I felt, how like when you feel music like all through you and all over you? I'm sounding like a goon. But it was so
just totally beautiful. It sounds amazing.
And I thought, this is such a gift I was given to have this kind of release and emotion and connection with a group of people. It really made me. And Bevy Smith, who I didn't get a chance to say hello to, was she was dancing bigger than anybody. And I don't know. Fantasia is not. I don't want to say she's underrated. I think she's underappreciated. What she can bring, and I just hope that there's great things happening for Fantasia in 2018.
Well, she truly has stellar talent, doesn't she?
And she's 33 years old.
Well, exactly.
She's so young.
Just a spring chicken.
She's been around forever anyway.
Fantasia's Christmas After Midnight is available on iTunes. Moving now to number 6. James, do you need a prompt?
No.
Buttholes, part 2.
No.
More buttholes.
No, but that was just very sincere and very sweet, and I don't have anything to follow that. I don't know how I can.
Just be you.
Just be me. Just be me.
The great thing is you don't have to follow it. It's number 6.
Number 6.
This is a wonderful time of year to binge watch and to catch up on all the things that you've been meaning to do. I keep saying I'm going to do Narcos. I haven't done Narcos. Yes. I'm going to do The Marvelous Miss Maisel that I'm very excited about.
People keep saying I will love it, and I haven't seen it yet.
Right? Yeah, I'm going to start doing that, I think, over the weekend. Last weekend, I started doing The Crown. I don't know if you've been catching up on it.
Here's my little Crown story. I was so excited. I was on the plane to New York. I said, before I go, I'm going to download. Thank goodness now with Netflix, you can download items onto your device to watch. I was like, I'm going to download 4 hours of The Crown and watch it on the way there and watch it on the way back. And I start to watch the first episode, and I downloaded season 1 again.
Oh, no.
I was just so cross.
No. Well, season 2, it starts off a little slow. It's a lot of political stuff.
Slow's good.
Then you're going to love it.
You're going to love this. There's a lot of political scandal that I didn't know about, and I thought I knew royal scandals and everything. There's a lot of Profumo affair, which I didn't really know about, but I think you're going to be in a pig in mud over this. And Princess Margaret is just off the rails.
I hear it's her season.
Yeah,
that
she's just a drunk, and she's in these fabulous outfits, and she's with Anthony Armstrong Jones, who is this sort of rouge bisexual.
Snowden, right?
Yeah, he's having affairs with men and women and everything like that.
She was the real trouble for the Crown. I mean, she was a thorn in their side for decades.
You sort of see with Anthony that she is sort of setting up what the 60s are going to be. She's sort of like this bisexual, crazy, drunken, madcap bacchanalia. There's 2 episodes in it that are absolutely Emmy-worthy, that are standalones, that are unbelievable. The first one is Dear Mr. Kennedy, and it's Jacqueline Kennedy and Jack Kennedy come to England very early in their, and England just goes bananas. Britain just goes bonkers for them, and it drives the Queen crazy. She is like we've talked about this before, like how sometimes there are things like you think like, you make it to the ultimate VIP room and you still feel like crap. Like, and like you're the Queen of England and you think that's as high as you can go, but there's always somebody who can make you feel small.
Right, who's younger and chicer.
And she makes, and Jackie makes the Queen feel like a country provincial mouse, like a country mouse.
And of course, the crisis in the monarchy for decades, generations, has been staying relevant, or rather in sync with the times, understanding what the fame is and where it's at,
and they
how to
address
embody
this.
that.
They address it very clearly, where afterwards they hear that Jackie says that Buckingham Palace looks like a third-rate hotel, and that the Queen in her frumpy little outfits, this little this
it was
little
like
country.
She said it at a dinner party, and it gets back to the Queen.
And it gets back to the Queen, and it just and the Queen walks away thinking after their meeting that she really liked Jackie and she really enjoyed, and then she hears these horrible things that Jackie says, and it destroys her. And then they have to meet again after they've heard this. They have to have a luncheon together, and Jackie apologized, and it's this whole big thing. It's a really beautiful episode, and the woman who plays Jackie is really fantastic. There's another episode called Pater Familias. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that correctly.
Pater Familias, like Latin.
Father issues. And it's where you see Charles go off to boarding school in Scotland, and he is relentlessly bullied. Gordonstone, yes. And it's the same place that Prince Philip went, and he was relentlessly bullied there
that's
too.
what they do at boarding schools.
Yes, and this is they say this one takes it to a whole other level, and it's just terrible. And Prince Philip, you finally get to understand why Prince Philip is the horror that he is, and why he's such a complicated, irritating person, and you really feel sorry for him.
He's damaged as a child.
He's very damaged as a child. And spoiler alert, I don't know, I mean, we might want to take this one out, but there's a Well,
take nothing out.
And then we take nothing
I'm
out.
still gonna watch.
But there's
maybe.
I don't know if you know his family tragedy that happened, where his entire family was flying to meet him for Christmas. The plane went down and killed his mother, his sisters, his brothers, blah blah blah. And as the plane was going down, the mother was in labor and gave birth to a child, and that she held the child just as the plane crashed. And
What?
so
that I've not heard.
No, it's
How would
true.
you know that?
How do you give birth in the space of time in which a plane crashes?
Because you see it in the flashback, but they found an infant, a 3-hour-old infant in the plane crash, the dead body of the 3 like the hour
lived.
No, it died.
Oh.
So everybody died, and so when that happens to Philip in boarding school at Gordonstone or whatever,
Right.
it sort of it changes the
Sears
tide.
his personality. Right?
Yeah, but it changes the tide, and he's becomes a heroic figure at the boarding school as opposed to being beaten up. So he had this wonderful experience there, this sort of life affirming that he was able to overcome all these obstacles, and he wanted Charles to go through the same thing, and Charles never is able to rise to the occasion. And you feel sorry for Charles, you feel sorry for Philip, and the whole episode is it's so Emmy worthy, and it is the best episode they've done so far.
Well, you can have a very merry Binge-mas. I made that one up.
Nice.
Watching The Crown and many other things. Season 2, of course, on Netflix. Okay, number 5.
Number 5.
Yule log from outer space. That's what I'm calling this. So, recently I was telling you guys about Voyager and the gold record that's left the solar system.
Yes.
And you were mocking me mercilessly. Well, I'm so excited now to tell you about an item, the first item, I believe it's the first recorded item that has come here from outside the solar system. And this is a giant rock. And the extraordinary thing about this rock is that it's 800 meters long and only a few feet, up to maybe 130 feet wide. And it's sort of cigar-shaped. And so understandably, people are thinking, is this some sort of alien craft? So it's popped into our solar system. It's
still far away from Earth, but it's in the solar system.
It's in the solar system. It's flying along at like 196,000 miles an hour. And it's not a comet, because comets have like
tails
bits behind.
Sure.
And it's not I don't know why it's not an asteroid, but it's not. I guess an asteroid.
It's just a cigar-shaped
thing. Yes. And they've called it, well, actually they've called it 1/2017 U1, but they've also named it Oumuamua, which is Hawaiian, meaning a messenger from afar arriving first. Right?
Oumuamua.
Oumuamua. And that's all I got for you. I mean, it's like they're like studying it right now. They're like pointed all their telescopes and things of that nature at it to see if it's giving off radio waves, because if it's broadcasting or like sending us a message.
And what percent of you believes that it is an alien ship?
On the one hand, 100% of me believes it, and on the other hand, 0%. I believe both. I mean, you should see the pictures. I mean, look at the pictures. It actually looks like a sort of giant poo, really, but it is extraordinary. It doesn't look like a natural
Back to
rock.
buttholes.
It's like it is oddly.
I think it might
shaped.
be space poo.
Space poo. Space poo.
By the way, we could sell that show.
Well, do you remember a few years ago where there
Space poo for your holiday hole, James.
I would like to believe, but I don't. I have a feeling that we're still a little bit a ways from alien
I'm
contact.
a dummy, but I always think like if it's really a different life form and a different level of intelligence, might we not even recognize
exactly.
it as such?
Yeah.
You know, it's like, what do their TV screens look like? They don't have TV screens.
Right.
You know, like,
they're not going to talk like us. I mean, I
they-
love the idea of that message that they sent on the record to outer space, but the chances that aliens have record players
Well, that's
or
kind of like that movie with Amy.
Adams.
Yeah.
waiting or something.
Where she had to sort of do...
The
figure out-
Arrival. The Arrival.
Yeah.
Yeah.
she had to do lots of dancing and stuff. It was more dance.
Okay, so we have to take a quick break.
Do we have more holiday or butt-related trivia?
Yes, Blake. What have we got?
Well, this is holiday.
Okay.
What is the best-selling Christmas album in the U.S. of all time?
I think
Second question: what's the biggest Christmas movie of all time?
And by Christmas movie, does that mean released at Christmas or about the subject of Christmas?
Well, yeah, released around Christmas and about Christmas.
Both. Okay. Thanks for that clue.
quick
And
break.
it's the most and at the box office. What it made it the most
Biggest
at the
box office. Okay, quick break. We'll be right back. You're listening to the Wow Report on Radio Andy, Sirius XM.
You're listening to World of Wonders Wow Report.
Welcome back to the Wow Report. I am Fenton. I'm here with Tom and James and Blake having a very merry time, very gay old time.
I've fashioned some Christmas tree earrings for myself and Blake so I look like someone's aunt. So I'm doing a character here
for the rest of the show.
Maybe just for this act.
As Carrie Fisher once said, "You're not an actor, so don't make a scene."
Oh, girl.
So what was our question? Our question for the break was...
two-parter.
Yeah.
What was the best-selling Christmas album in the U.S. of all time?
Let's do that one first.
I'm saying White Christmas.
By Bing Crosby.
By Bing Crosby, yeah.
Or it could be the Mariah Carey.
Which has surpassed it, possibly.
So,
I think it could be Phil Spector.
all right, Phil Spector, Mariah Carey, Bing Crosby.
All good guesses, and I thought all of those, but it's actually Elvis's Christmas album. It's actually gone diamond.
Without
Oh my gosh.
I don't know what that
I'm going to
means.
take off
So
my...
then
10 million
means
copies.
The biggest movie, Christmas movie of all time in the U.S., right?
Biggest
Christmas
box
with the
office.
Cranks. No.
No.
Christmas movie, I would have to say it's probably...
White Christmas is a movie,
It has
right?
a wow connection.
RuPaul's...
I want to say A Christmas Story.
No. I'm gonna
I just had an
say-
answer. I don't say
What's
it's right.
that? Is the Mr. Smith Goes to Washington one? The one? Is that a Christmas movie? No.
Oh,
It
I know
always
what it is. I know what it is.
Right.
It's Home Alone with Macaulay Culkin.
That's it.
Yes, of course. Yes.
Oh, well done, James. And the World of Wonder connection, of course, is that Macaulay Culkin played Party Monster Michael Alig, Club Kid Extraordinaire, in the movie Party Monster, which you wrote the book of.
Yes.
There we go. Okay, so we're moving on with the top 10 things that make us go,
Wow.
or ho, ho, ho. We're at number 4.
Number 4.
On my theme of going out and being in the theater and the performing arts, these are things I'm looking forward to. Because I'm going to New York before I go to New Hampshire to see my brother and sister and my nephew, and just the short list. But there's one I want to talk about, which is very Christmassy. But I'm going to see Meteor Shower, which is the new Steve Martin play with Amy Schumer.
Okay. So this is Christmas Future.
Yes, the future. I'm going to see a new one-man show with John Lithgow that I'm going to the first night of previews. I'm looking forward to.
I have been hearing that there has been a bit of controversy with John because, of course, he just did that movie with Mel Gibson, and people are sort of down on him right now about that.
I'm going to forgive him.
Okay.
And I'm all going to see once
What's
on
the John Lithgow thing called?
It's a one-man. I forget what it's called, but it's a one-man show. And then there's Once on This Island, which has come back, which people saying is fantastic. I'm going to see that too. But what I'm really looking forward to, I don't know if you guys have any experience. I want to hear. I'm going to the Radio City Christmas Spectacular with the Rockettes. Have you been?
I have been years and years and years and years ago.
I have been. It's interesting, because the Rockettes, it's all about the Rockettes.
Right?
Yeah.
Where it gets odd or weird is the story that they piece together to get you from beginning of the show to the end. And it kind of doesn't matter, but it sort of veers all over the road. Sometimes there's peppermint candy and things, and then suddenly Jesus pops up. And it's like, it's sort of, and then it's a multi-faith extravaganza. It's like, well, what are we trying to tell the children here in this sort of...
And all you
it's
want
sort
is
of-
just the big...
It's a mashup. Because when they do the Christmas soldier thing, what do they call those soldiers? Toy soldiers.
Yeah, I just saw
That's
a
the
thing
most-
about that where they start with like 2 girls and then they do 6 when they all
Yeah,
fall
they all
down.
keep-
And that is stunning, beyond
Yes.
stunning. But the show itself, you have this weird narrative. You've got Santa Claus, you've got Jesus, you've got Buddha, you've got then you've got the Rockettes. It's all
Welcome to Christmas in America.
Yes, okay.
Is there when you saw it? Is there a live action Jesus crash scene with animals?
There was a lot of yes.
And this was
Yes.
25 years ago, so I don't.
The story has not changed.
I was gonna say, is it the same story every year?
I
they
mentioned
must
this to someone
update it.
else, and they said they were backstage and that the camels are kept in a relatively small room, so they felt bad for the camels. So I'm hoping, I was assumed that they have the best circumstances for the live animals that surround Jesus.
But my question always is there like somebody who gives the camels enemas before they go on stage so they don't don't poop all over the stage? Do you think that somebody's job is like the camel, for those say that 5 times fast.
For
those of you just tuning in, we're talking to James St. James about buttholes at Christmas.
And enemas.
That's because animals pooping on the stage is probably the best entertainment known to man.
Exactly. They should make those camels eat double extra.
Well, I wonder, like about Cavalia, like how it's just nothing but horses, and like there's got to be somebody who
you think so much about.
He did ponder this the other day in the car.
I think about it a lot. It's something that takes up occupies a lot of my time.
I'm going to ask at least an usher for sure. I'm
yes,
ask
please. Will you come back?
I'm going to do a little investigative reporting for you.
I tell you, it's an amazing show. I think you'll love it. I mean, what's not to love about the Rockettes, right? I mean,
I feel like I'm stacking the deck to have this great. I've already had 2 great experiences. I'm going to have some more in New York, and it's going to fill my happy place. So there you go.
So you can see the Rockettes Christmas Spectacular, Radio City Music Hall, New York City through January the 1st. James, number 3, what are your holiday picks?
Number 3.
Well, I'm having a really hard time getting into the holiday spirit this year.
And you resent me because I am.
I do a little bit. I'm a little jealous because
it doesn't feel Christmassy.
It doesn't, and I feel like this year has really just beat me down with Trump and everything. It's been a really
the
hard.
Same.
Yeah,
that's why I'm trying so hard to find joy.
And so I think that I was talking about binge watching, that I'm gonna do some binge watching, but there are some Christmas classics that every year that really help pull me into the spirit a little bit. One of my favorite movies of all time is National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation.
Yes,
I can watch that.
Is that when they get the giant Christmas tree?
Yes, yeah, and the squirrel on the Christmas tree.
Yes, cutting it down.
It's so good. It's so good. Also, I do Planes, Trains, and Automobiles, which is one of my favorites. I do.
Was that before Home Alone? It's like a precursor.
It was.
Right?
It was. It's Steve Martin and Uncle
John
Buck.
Candy.
John Candy.
Yeah.
It's really good. I also love The Family Stone. Have you ever seen The Family Stone?
I cry thinking about it.
It's so with Diane Keaton and Sarah Jessica Parker. Sarah Jessica Parker is a revelation. She is amazing.
There is a montage. Because Diane Keaton is the mother-in-law.
At the very end.
Jessica Parker comes home. She's the daughter that's meeting the family for the first time. But
they're all sort of nasty
Keaton
to her.
is kind of holding on to a secret that she's been diagnosed with cancer. And then there's a montage to
Spoiler.
the movie and the song of "Have Yourself a Merry Little Christmas" with Judy Garland. And it's just one of those montages where they kind of interweave the stories with visuals as that song plays. And my mom was sick around that. It's beautiful. I'm making it like a bummer, but it's a
if
really you want to cry, a good Christmas cry.
It's a good Christmas cry, yeah. There's also one of my favorite movies. I've told you before last year was Holiday in Handcuffs with Mario Lopez and Melissa Joan Hart, which is a Lifetime thing, which is so good. It's
Hallmark.
I can't talk it up enough. Okay, there's also a movie called Jack Frost, which I watched last year, which is Michael Keaton, and there's a magical harmonica that turns him into a snowman, like a living snowman.
I remember the ads for it. I never saw it.
It's weird, and it's sort of fun, and it's sort of a little sad and melancholic, and it's really something you should go look at. There's also Just Friends, which I just saw, where it's the Ryan Reynolds in a fat suit, remember? With Anna
Faris?
Anna Faris. That's a really good one, too. That's another one. And I also think I highly recommend doing a holiday horror thing. There's a number, one of the scariest movies of all time is Black Christmas, which we've talked about, 1973, which was the precursor to Halloween. It is so terrifying. That sorority girls in a sorority house, and most of them go home for Christmas, and there's a guy in the attic, and he kills them all one at a time. 1974. It's so good. But there's also
Silent Night.
Yeah, there's Silent Night, Deadly Night. There's Silent Night, Bloody Night, and then there's just Silent Night. And all 3 of those are worth checking out.
The trilogy.
There's Santa.
Are they sequels? I mean,
no. They're all just separate movies. Yeah. There's Santa Sleigh, which is really good, like Santa Sleigh. There's a Christmas Horror Story. There's Krampus. There's Christmas Evil, which is a good one because Christmas Evil is the one where they take I Saw Mommy Kissing Santa Claus and they turn it into a horror film where he witnesses his mom having sex with Santa under the tree, and it turns him into a murderous psychopath. It's very good. It's a bit like Taxi Driver, in which you're just getting into the mentality of this crazy man.
I want to talk to you after the broadcast, but I think I have a clue why you're not in the Christmas spirit. You might be taking things a little dark this year.
I am. Well, it is a dark Christmas.
It is.
There's also Gingerbread Man, which is terrifying. New Year's Evil, Home for the Holiday, and
Home for the Holidays is a horror film.
Yeah, I think so. And then there's a Jack Frost for that too, where there's a killer Jack Frost, if you recall.
We're getting one of these.
Wrap it up.
This is really.
You have provided a wealth of information for people to choose some holiday entertainment. And I hope Nolan will be watching silent, bloody Christmas darkness.
Is Nolan into his terror phase yet, or is that still a few years away?
We played him Psycho once, and it just traumatized him. So not going to be
one of the many things that have traumatized poor Nolan.
But the wrap up here is it says here A Bad Moms Christmas is in theaters now, and everything else will be playing on every television channel you have. You didn't mention A Bad Moms Christmas.
Yeah, he was supposed to do that.
That's okay.
Well, I thought
you saw it.
We already talked about it.
Christmas
I did a whole
movie.
episode about it.
I remember it
segment.
so
I
well.
think Susan Sarandon's in it, right?
Yes, we've already talked about this.
Moving on, my
Speaking
number
of
two.
horror.
Number 2.
All I want for Christmas is universal basic income.
Universal basic income.
Well, but wait, wouldn't that
What can you explain what that means? Yes, please.
No, it's in Norway, right? Or Sweden or something.
Okay, so a basic income is a periodic cash payment unconditionally delivered to all on an individual basis without means test or work requirement.
So every homeless person, it's in Norway, right? Or
not
something?
every homeless person. Every person.
Every single person,
Every citizen gets paid.
From Donald Trump to a homeless person.
Right.
Yes.
And they get paid the same amount.
And where's the
and they don't have to. They don't have to account for the money. They don't have to be looking for
It's
work.
just a gift.
They don't have to sign
be
on.
drug tested. God
They don't
forbid.
have to be drug tested.
But what is the country that does this now?
Right. Well, actually, they're trying it right now in Finland.
Oh, Finland.
They're going to be trying it also in Canada. And in Kenya, they've tried it out.
Oh, that's nice.
And I mean, the weird thing is you think it's a brand new idea, but in fact, in 1956, Harper Lee wrote about it, and Martin Luther King spoke about it, and Bertrand Russell and Thomas Paine. It's an idea that's actually been around, but it's interesting because it's just gaining some traction. It really is.
But you can still have capitalism, and some people can still succeed at their wildest, beyond their wildest dreams.
I think that's right, because the idea of communism was that you couldn't profit.
Right, exactly.
And the idea of this is that, in fact, yes, here's some money, do what you want with it, and if you want to work as well, you can work. Because in our welfare system, if you work and you're getting welfare, you get cut off, right?
Yeah.
And that creates a problem where
you can never get out, or it incents you to stay doing nothing, getting
if you
something.
work and get a little, then you get cut off and you're stuck. So why work?
Simple.
So, and it's great because the whole idea, it removes a complete layer of oversight. Because do you imagine the cost of the whole welfare system is so burdensome? It removes a whole layer of shame,
Right.
And
do you have any idea like what the level of money people get? Is it? Do you know that?
Yeah, no, I think I read it.
Because there's a whole thing about happiness that at a certain point of like once you make like $75,000 a year, I'm making it up. It's like any increment of money after that doesn't really affect your happiness. Like you just need a basic amount.
I'd like to find out about that.
Okay,
find out what that level is. Okay, here's the thing.
Maybe not
in the U.S., they think it would be like 10,000 per citizen per year. I mean, so it's not necessarily what you can live off of, almost, I guess, in some.
But it's enough to get you off the streets, and it's enough to feed you.
And that would actually cost about between 1.5 and 3 trillion.
And then you invest in the stock
market, which is what we're using on Trump in his defense. Yes.
And it sounds like mad socialism, but I don't think it is. Actually, in Alaska, since 1982, they've had something called the PFD, and now I can't remember what PFD stands for, but it's something like the Permanent Fund Dividend. That's right. They have a fund in Alaska where public money is invested, and it pays out a dividend, and they give it to every single person in Alaska. And they've been doing that since 1982. I mean, that's not enough to live on, but that idea... I think it's a pretty amazing idea, especially when you consider that soon about 57% of all jobs globally are going to be replaced by automation.
Yeah, and so we really have a problem with the self-driving cars.
Yes,
it's going to take
truck
away
drivers, construction, fast food, farming, insurance. they're going to all be hit like 80 or 90% unemployment.
You know, they say that even like, you know, writers and songwriters and all that stuff are on the way out. And so that
Sirius XM radio hosts are going to be replaced by robots.
Well, I am a droid. I am a bot.
But I mean, it's sort of pissing in the wind at this point because there's no way that this administration would even entertain.
A change is gonna come.
Okay,
I'm feeling emboldened by the Alabama win. Oh, that's the only other thing, and I'm jumping over.
Yeah.
But when I was in the Apollo Theater, white guy that I am, and I had this beautiful communion of voices and hearts, and it happened to be the night after the Alabama win, when black women voted and saved us once again, and I thought like, wow.
Can I tell you that I was in a theater? I was at I was at the Wallace Annenberg Theater in Beverly Hills. Right. I went to go see Danny Francesi in the heart of Robin Hood, which is really a spectacular thing. We should have talked about it. But right beforehand, while we were waiting for the curtain to go up, someone said, "Roy Moore has gone down!" And the entire audience leapt to its feet and started applauding. And it was one of those moments that was like a real community feeling where like we all had a moment of good.
You found the joy, James.
The meaning of Christmas. Just like holidays and handcuffs, you found the meaning of Christmas.
that there was just like really hot guys in the heart of Robin Hood. They were all in leather pants and with their shirts off. And
we have to take a quick break, and when we come back, the Resistor of the Week, and we reveal our number one thing that made us go, wow.
Ho, ho, ho.
Of course.
All those things.
Wow Report on Radio Andy, Sirius XM.
You're listening to World of Wonders Wow Report.
Hey, welcome back. So, time to reveal the number one thing that made us go, ho, ho, ho.
Number one.
Tom.
What is it?
I feel like I missed the meeting this week.
It's RuPaul's Christmas Ball, of course. The classic Christmas special of all Christmas specials.
Yeah, It's a Wonderful Life, great. See it every year. The Charlie Brown Christmas special, great. See it every year. But if you haven't done, if you have, you know, and if you haven't, you need to. It's on YouTube. It's free. It's RuPaul's
Wow Presents Plus.
Well, it's on Wow Presents.
RuPaul's Christmas Ball.
Wow Presents Plus.
Right?
Yes, it is. Yes, RuPaul's Christmas Ball, yes.
And it's from 1994. And it stars RuPaul, LaToya Jackson.
Yes.
Nirvana makes an appearance.
Yes.
Belinda Carlisle. Who else is in it?
In Vogue make an appearance. Little Richard makes an appearance. Boy George sings a song.
Yes.
Can I tell you that the little drummer boy is my absolute favorite right there. Billy Beyond is the drummer boy. She is just...
And Laura Keitlinger is the Virgin Mary.
And Ru is just in fine form, belting it out. It's so beautiful.
What I love about RuPaul, and there's many things, is obviously the show is as camp as can be.
It is.
And it's hilarious. And there's a scene where he and LaToya are playing like rivals of each other and dressed alike. But Little Drummer Boy, which has all those funny things you said, it is a soulful, it's one of the more soulful Ru songs. It's his voice. And the Little Drummer...
not camping it up. He's doing it straight, serious.
He's in a white gown with a muff, singing to Baby Jesus. And Little Drummer Boy, and this is why I love all the symbolism, some of the symbolism of Christmas, because Little Drummer Boy is all about the outsider, right? It's all about that little boy that didn't have anything to give, and so may I play for him. And there's something about a drag queen singing it that somehow all brings it together. You have a hilarious story about, because this is RuPaul at his peak, and everyone, his first peak, and it was everyone, Nirvana and everybody wanting to.
But I also want to say though that on top of Nirvana and Boy George and all those people, that there's some really great. The elves are played by downtown superstars like Linda Simpson, Sister Dimension, Floyd, Billy Beyond. I think a couple of drag queens that
I'm blanking.
I'm sort of blanking too. But anyway, it's really fun to see. They sort of camp it up and they're riffing on.
And if you watch RuPaul's Drag Race and you know about the Tic Tac lunch he has with the contestants each year, there's the Tic Tac diet, which started the whole thing as a commercial. That's hilarious.
And he also the whore, the perfume.
Is she who is?
Yes. And they do the whole whore perfume thing. That's really fantastic.
The blueprint for RuPaul's entire career happened during that Christmas.
I do want to say that LaToya plays RuPaul's RuPaul's sister, and it's RuPauline or RuPauline or
and
something
she has
like
RuPaul tied up, and she's trying to grab all the attention.
It's really funny.
There's a funny story about the release of that amazing drummer boy.
Yes, Ru was signed to Virgin Records at the time in the UK, and they were like, we're going to do a Christmas single, and it's going to be Little Drummer Boy.
Which sounds like a no-brainer.
Of course, makes complete sense.
It's the height of supermodel.
As December approached, we were like, what's happening with the record release? And it was like, oh, it's coming. And then one day came this fateful call that they said, well, we have a few production problems and we're not going to release it before Christmas. But the good news is we're going to release it after Christmas.
and I was like, January 15th.
I was like, excuse me, that doesn't work. It's a Christmas song. And they were like, well, no, it's not really. I mean, Little Drummer Boy, it's
about a drummer boy. What's Christmassy about that?
It's not necessarily about Christmas. I was like, you are out of your mind.
Did it go to #1 or did it?
It's weird. People don't like to listen to Christmas music in January. It's a weird
strange thing. But it didn't come out until after Christmas. However, RuPaul's Christmas Ball did come out before Christmas, so that's good. And also we had the debut of Don't Go Breaking My Heart, the video for Don't Go Breaking My Heart.
Oh my God. That you and Randy directed and produced all of that.
Yes.
Thank you.
Oh, you're welcome.
Thank you.
So now I'm going to reveal the Resistor of the Week. The Resistor of the Week is Stormy, and Stormy is a show cow. Yes! A lovely 7-year-old, 1,600-pound Hereford cow. And the story of Stormy is that this week, Stormy was in a live nativity at the Old First Reformed United Church of Christ in Philadelphia. And early in the morning, she escaped. And they found her on the top floor of a multi-story car park. So they grabbed her, they got her down, tied her back up at the nativity scene in the church. She escaped again.
During the nativity scene, right?
Yes,
during the,
Yes, and she found herself moving down the I-95. Oh, come on. I know.
This is bullshit.
It's utterly ridiculous.
It's really milking it now.
That's all we have time for today.
On that note, we're out.
Start your free trial of WOW's new streaming service, WOW Presents Plus, by visiting www.wow-presents.com. And watch original series from Valentina Detox, Bob the Drag Queen, an award-winning lineup of films, dogs, drag, and LGBTQIA shows.
What a great late-minute Christmas gift for someone to sign them up.
Yes.
Do you know it's perfect for a Bingemas? You can have a wonderful Bingemas watching WOW Presents
And if you use
Plus.
the code word transformations,
Oh.
you get an additional something off of the first something.
I love that.
It's very good at math.
And James will send you a chocolate butthole.
Yes.
For $500.
The Trixie and Katya show returns to Viceland with all new shows on January 24th.
Yes.
And next day you can watch Trixie Mattel with a few of her Drag Race sisters on RuPaul's Drag Race All-Stars Season 3.
Have you seen the trailer for that?
All gold. Bring me my golden gold.
And can someone explain to me how David LaChapelle was whooped into doing it? It's an amazing trailer.
It is January 25th, 8 p.m. on VH1. Well, thanks for tuning into the WOW Report. Hey, everybody, happy Christmas. Oh, wait, I got to do the crackers.
Okay.
Do the crackers.
I've
you
been
know what
waiting.
you do with the crackers?
You eat them.
You cross your arms.
We have these
Take
British
that. There
poppers.
you go. Now you cross your arms. So bring that one here and bring that one there.
Oh, wait.
Tom, right? Do that. There you go. James, just pull it. Right.
Reach,
Are you ready to pull?
One.
Okay.
You reach that one.
Tom
No,
is
James,
here.
James, you reach that one.
Oh, okay.
That's how you do
There
it.
we go. Oh. What have we got inside?
I didn't get anything. I didn't get anything.
Well, wait, no, you do. Everybody gets something. Oh, there you go. You need this. That's a crown. You unfold it. You put it on. It's a paper hat.
Again, wonderful radio.
Yeah.
Okay. And every cracker, this is a British tradition, every cracker contains a little joke. Did Rudolph go to elf school? Oh, no, I fucked it up. Did Rudolph go to school? No, he was elf taught.
Why did the skeleton cross the road?
Skull?
Skeleton.
Why?
To get to the body shop.
See, that's so
I
good.
didn't get one.
James, yours is in there somewhere. Come on.
All right. Well,
This is the after show.
yeah.
Oh, here you go. Here's yours. It got stuck in the thing. Do you want my glasses?
What you get when you put jelly in a pram? A jelly baby? What does that mean? What's the joke?
Sounds like a polo mint joke to me.
Yeah, we don't have jelly babies.
Why we don't have
Or
Pram
Gummy
Grams.
bears. That's what they are. They're gummy bears.
Well, that really tickled your funny bone.
This might be edited down a little bit.
Thanks for tuning into the Wow Report on Radio Andy Sirius XM. Listen anytime on the Sirius Radio app or watch anytime on the Wow Report. Same time, same place next week.
Okay, let's do it.
Until then, go out and do something that makes the world go
Wow! Merry Christmas.
We have a pizza party to go to right now.